I'm Clay Newman, and this is the Zoo Review. Season 2! What's happening, humans? In this episode, we're going to be talking about one of my spirit animals, the brown-throated, three-toed sloth. When it comes to coloring, they are an array of browns and greens with a large stinky orange patch of pheromone-doused fur on the back of males. Their coarse fur hangs upside down, so the frequent tropical rain flows away from its body, but that does give their haircut a kind of dorky Crispin Glover vibe. Sloths aren't naturally green in color, but they are so slow that fungus grows on their fur, and while this fungus does provide camouflage and fends off diseases, being moldy, it's generally not that adorable. Their babies are cute, I guess, if not a little creepy and annoying. When it comes down to it, as we all know, animals acting like humans is adorable, and this creature is just a little too relatable to do poorly in this category. When it comes to adorableness, the sloth gets 13 points. The brown-throated three-toed sloth is not a large animal. It's roughly the size of a house cat, weighing in at less than 10 pounds. Their metabolism is so slow that, like reptiles, they rely on the heat of the sun to raise their body temperature. The three claws on each foot look like they could do some damage, but sloths aren't really physically capable of mustering enough energy to actually do so. At one point in time, sloths were massive creatures that roamed the ancient Americas, but those times are long gone for our little friend, and when it comes to badassness, they really only get 3 points. Not some predators out there are actually willing to eat these moldy lumps of shit, and so, in response, the sloth has developed extra vertebrae in its neck, which allows it to look 360 degrees around its body. They're smart enough to spend most of their time up in the canopy where predators are less of a threat, but once a week, they commit to an arduous journey down to the rainforest floor in order to take a shit, which is insane. They are covered in fungus, but now all of a sudden you're gonna get real precious about where you poop? There are ocelots and shit down there. Just poop in the sky, it'll be fine. Technically, going all the way to the ground every once in a while does benefit that symbiotic relationship they have going with their gross moldy fur, but I still think it's gonna cost them intelligence points. In this category, they only get 7. While these animals are pretty useless on land and water, they are built perfectly for a life in the trees. Their long, curvaceous claws allow them to grab onto branches and even sleep above the forest floor. The sloth's slow nature comes from its diet of nearly indigestible food. Much like our stupid friends, the panda, the vegetation consumed by sloths contain almost zero nutrients. Plus, most of the leaves sloths eat are straight up poisonous. But unlike pandas, who solve this problem by constantly eating and shitting, the sloth has a multi-chamber cow-like stomach full of nasty-ass bacteria, which is capable of breaking down those awful rainforest leaves. It can take up to a month for a sloth to digest a single meal, making it the slowest digestive system of any animal. That may not sound exciting, but it is always fun to be the best at something. In this category, I'm going to give him 12 points. The brown-throated, three-toed sloth is officially listed as least concern. Yes! While the Amazon rainforest isn't exactly the most sustainable place as far as surviving humans these days, they are found throughout it. Dickhead poachers are always fucking with sloths because people want them as pets. And, as you could imagine, they don't do great with human inventions like roads. Plus, like everything else about the sloth, the reproduction rate is incredibly slow. The fact of the matter is, though, they've been around for millions of years in one form or another. I think the sloth can survive a few more with us. In this category, I am giving them 11 points. Well, the results are in, the scores are tallied. Brown-throated, three-toed sloth, you're a pretty cool animal, but you're not a very good one. You only got 45 points, which is only good enough for a tie for 29th place. You're down there with the likes of the snowy plover and the Rio Grande turkey. Well, that's it for this episode. As always, I would love your suggestions on animals that I can talk about later. Drop them in the comments. What animals would you like to talk about? I may hurt your feelings a little bit. I'm a little sad about the sloth myself. You guys have a great rest of your day. My name's Clay Newman. Goodbye.